Maurice here again, doing another episode of Going Beyond the Gym, here with Melissa Dunnings of Composition ID Houston. How's it going, Melissa?
Wonderful. How about yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. So, just going through a couple of questions, find out a little bit about you,
Okay.
a little bit about Composition ID Houston. So, first off, tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am, first and foremost, I am a Louisiana girl. Been in Houston about 12 years. Relocated here because of my career. I'm currently in the healthcare industry, working full-time, transitioning to Composition ID slowly. I'm new into this entrepreneurial world. I'm an accountant. I'm numbered, very, very analytical in my thinking. So that's kind of what led me into this world of body composition and providing data analysis for athletes and individuals that wanted to know more about their bodies.
Wow, that's crazy. Like you're coming from the accounting and finance industry over to the health and fitness industry, and you're kind of bringing, some of your skills.
Yeah,
and talents from there.
I worked for quite some time too. I was trying to find where I fit in this world,
right,
in the health and fitness world. I knew that I wanted to do something that was related to health and fitness, but I didn't know if I wanted to open a gym, become a nutritionist, and I just ran across this technology, just in organic searches, just searching on Instagram.
Wow.
And I saw the value,
Right.
and realized that it was a market that hadn't been addressed in Houston. And
Right, okay.
that's how it came about.
All right. So first, before we go more into
Okay.
depth about the actual scan, what made you want to transition into the health and fitness industry? Because it's like a completely left turn
It is.
from
It
the
is.
finance world. So why health and fitness?
Health and fitness. Well, I suffer with a really bad back. I have had surgeries, had to have injections every now and then. So what helped me get out of the depression and dealing with that was entering health and fitness, CrossFit, and meeting the CrossFit community. That was just something that really changed the trajectory of my life. I realized that was something I loved, I wanted to do. I wanted to do it full time, and
Right.
just trying to find my place in that world.
I can actually relate to that because I've been an athlete just like yourself. I was an athlete all my life, and I work in IT full time, but I've always been active in just my love and passion for being active and being physical. That kind of helped me to pull me more towards the health and fitness industry.
Yes,
So
yes.
I can kind of relate to that in a fashion. So Composition ID. So why the name Composition ID? Like, how did that come to you?
Well, that came about because one issue most small businesses encounter, especially when they're opening, is they don't have anyone to leverage. They don't have a source of reference.
Okay.
And that's one reason franchises are 80% more likely to be successful than just small businesses, mom and pop small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to reach out to someone who had experience in the industry that I could use as a mentor and guide throughout this journey. And I reached out via random email to a lady in DC who owns Composition ID.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And I told her what my vision was, what my goal was, and she allowed me to use her name and branding and move from there. And, that's why I always say, if you want it, worst thing that can happen is they say no.
Right, that's true. That's definitely true.
I was in class one night as I was studying. I've just graduated with my MBA in August, and I opened Composition ID August 16th, immediately after graduating.
Oh man!
So I was sitting in class one night, and I looked her up, sent her an email, and the rest is history.
Oh man!
Yeah.
There's something to that because, like you said, a lot of small businesses, a lot of them don't succeed because no one knows who they are
No one
or
knows
the value of what they bring. So
yes, and if we're able to minimize the learning curve just a bit, then we set ourselves up with a competitive advantage versus our peers.
Absolutely. Oh man, that's great. I wish I would have thought of that. instead of trying to bring something new, because that's the risk you face when you're trying to bring something new is how do you get yourself familiarized with the population. And so she's
done this for I think about 4 years now, and she's incredible. She's probably performed more scans than probably anyone else in the United States. She is just very knowledgeable. You saw me earlier text her a question that's something I'm not familiar with, and I'm sure I'll hear back from her momentarily. And a lot of people don't have that ability to have someone so knowledgeable at their fingertips.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to find someone that's willing to share that information with you.
Yes.
So that's great. So we've been talking about the scan. So it's called a DEXA scan. So tell us, what exactly is the DEXA scan? What does it do, and how did you learn about it?
The DEXA scan is a dual X-ray low-dose radiation scan. And what happens is the bottom of the machine, which we'll show you momentarily, sends two different frequencies up to the top of the arm. And with that, it is able to differentiate fat, lean mass, and bone. Okay. And in hospital settings, it is the gold standard in assessing osteoporosis and bone density. However, it also provides the gold standard in body composition. It's a technology that's been around since the 90s, but we're just beginning to use it in the fashion for body composition.
Man, so this has been around for...
Yeah, it's originated in the 90s for bone density testing.
And not many folks ever knew about it.
Yes.
And I know me being into health and fitness, and also a model fitness competitor, having this information is very, very valuable, because when we're preparing for shows, we want to know, okay, so what's our body fat percentage right now? Because we need to be in a certain range for competition.
Yes.
And so having this kind of technology is like mind blowing for me, because, and we'll go over my results soon, but just seeing, where my body fat is, how much I have, and what areas I need to target, I think that is really beneficial and critical for, at least for, someone in athletics and health and fitness, and who's a competitor like myself.
Yes. It has really a universal usage. Whether you are just wanting to assess your bone density, or you're just trying to get a baseline, you're wanting to get back into fitness, you've been discouraged in the years past because you haven't really seen the results on the scale that you've been looking for. Right. So we kind of take the scale out of the equation, because we're able to see exactly what's happening on the inside. Right. Whether you're just want to know where you're at as far as your health is concerned, we're able to look at visceral fat. Visceral fat is a predictor of cardiovascular and metabolic diseases. So it's an overall really wellness check, more than just body fat. People say, "Oh, I think my body fat's too high. I need to get in shape before I can come see you." Really, you need to see me at your very worst, because I'm able to, work with you, and we're able to track over a long period of time to see exactly where these transitions are happening and how your body transforms.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't necessarily have to be an athlete or working out. You can be someone that's new to the industry or not working out at all, and this will actually give you an idea of where you are.
It will.
And help you target those areas where you need to focus more.
Yes, and it tends to be a wake-up call for a lot of people as well, especially when we're dealing with the visceral fat. And the visceral fat is a deadly fat, and it tends to trigger something. I tell them, Google visceral fat when you get home and see the effect on your organs and see how it's suppressing them, and I tell them the risk factors that are associated with it. And I have seen some amazing results come from just people being able to quantify what's in that region of their body.
Wow. One thing, when I'm training my clients, they always complain about, the scale's not moving, the scale's not changing. And I try to stress to them, stop watching the scale. As you're losing weight, you're decreasing in body fat, but you're increasing in body mass. So can you talk about that and how the DEXA scan helps out with helping folks to understand that about their body?
Well, one great thing we do is we give a visual.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see in his report a little later where we actually show you a visual of your body, where your lean mass is and how your fat's stored throughout your body. But your subsequent scans, we're able to show you exactly how much you gained or lost in a specific region, whether you gained fat or gained muscle or lost fat and lost muscle, which sometimes happens. And we see a lot of really fast weight loss that tends to be muscle loss rather than fat. So, and when you have a higher muscle loss, your body fat's going to shoot up. So be careful. All weight is not created equal.
I like that.
Yes.
I'm actually going to steal that. So don't be surprised if you see it on my Instagram, but that's good. All weight is not created equal.
It is not. All weight loss is not created equal. People come in and they're like, I've lost 15 pounds in 30 days. I'm like, oh, wow. This is not going to be good for you.
Yeah, 15 pounds in 30 days.
Yes. And most of that, the faster it comes off, rule of thumb, it's probably muscle.
Probably muscle.
Probably muscle. Yes.
So, you heard it from a professional themselves. If you're losing weight that quick, you probably should get it checked because it may not be the weight that you want to burn off. So you also do, besides the DEXA scan, which is kind of like the premier of composition ID, you also perform some other tests that provide some valuable information for your clients. So what are some of those tests?
I think the most important test that I do here is the resting metabolic heart rate. And most people utilize that number to be the baseline of their nutrition plan.
Okay.
However, most people utilize a number that's online based on your age, height, and weight. But what we've seen, we utilize a breathing. We capture the O2 gases, which directly correlates with your resting metabolic heart rate, is anywhere from 200 to 600 calories. Those numbers are off, and sometimes that's 200 to 600 calories under or 200 to 600 calories over.
Wow.
Yes, so that is a lot of weight gain or weight loss in any individual.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you add an extra, 500 calories a day over a period of a week, you're gaining a pound a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I know I've been at a couple of gyms and I know they have this standard sheet that you can pull off the internet from anywhere.
Yes.
And they get their clients' information and they say, based off your age, your body weight, this is where you are.
Yes, and we are all so unique. A person that weighs the exact same amount as you is not going to have the same muscle mass, the same metabolism. But when we're able to assess that metabolism and determine your unique caloric burn, we can customize a meal plan that captures your needs and your goals.
Wow, that's great. That's really good. That's something we all need.
Yes, I'd push that one. That one is the most important. It's not a fun test. It's not the most comfortable, but it is the most important because nutrition is the cornerstone for any type of wellness program.
You know what? I'm glad you touched on that point because I try to stress to my clients. They say I'm consistently working out. We're training hard, but I'm not seeing the gains or the weight loss like I want to. And I try to stress to them that, it starts in the kitchen. That's over 50% of you losing or gaining weight is what you're eating at the table and what you're doing in that kitchen.
And even if we eat the right foods, but we don't eat the right amount, if we're eating over or under, then that's going to skew your results.
Absolutely.
You're not going to get the results you want. That's why that resting metabolic is the most important test that we provide.
Perfect. So I may have to come back and get that one done also.
Anytime.
That'll help me adjust my meal plan to where I actually need to be. So that's good stuff.
Do you count your calories?
I don't necessarily count them. I kind of just weigh my food and go off of that, and I try to stick to a certain plan based on where I am in the season. So if I'm getting ready for a show, I'll kind of reduce that because I know I'm trying to reduce my body fat. But in the off season, when I'm trying to put on more muscle, I'll kind of increase the amount of food that I'm eating to kind of balance.
Calorie counting is difficult, but I always suggest just so you understand the amounts, and so you just to get a feel of it, maybe for a 2 or 3 week period, calorie counting may be beneficial until you adjust to
that may be something that I should do just to make sure that I'm on the right path of what I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah, I need to do that myself. All right, so what's next for Composition ID? Where do you see you guys as far as the Houston location? Where do you see you guys going in the next few months, the next couple of years? Like, how do you see things progressing?
Phase 2 for Composition ID will definitely be to get us mobile, to be able to be out in the community, and at gyms, fitness events, wellness events, to be able to provide the scans on site, which is really important. Convenience is a huge aspect of the health and fitness arena.
Absolutely.
And I really want to be able to provide that, and just a van or a mobile vehicle will increase the exposure and of the services we provide here.
Absolutely. Now, the machine itself is kind of big, so do you think maybe in the future that they could possibly make something smaller, maybe like a hand wand or something, something that could allow you to be more mobile?
That would require some type of bioimpedance type logic, which there's so many of those out there already. So what I would like to see is a 3D DEXA.
Wow.
That's
No,
something that would be phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And I've already reached out to GE. I think that would definitely be a game changer.
Absolutely.
For which no one could compete with.
To see a 3D image of your body, where you're holding fat and where your muscle is, that would be amazing.
That would be amazing. That would be. I know the technology exists. It'd just be that, just having someone or getting GE on board to build it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. All right. So now, wanna go through the scan
Let's
and
go.
look at the
Let's
results?
Let's do it.
All right.
So, one thing we have here, we're able to provide you a visual. So when we look at the blue is going to be your lean mass. The red, the little red that we can see around here, this is going to be your subcutaneous fat. And we see your skeleton here in gray. So one really great aspect of this test is we're able to segment the body. When I refer to the legs, I'm referring to from the pelvic bone down. The trunk is this box right around your upper body. Tissue body fat, and we are the only ones with the DEXA that's able to give this level of detail. Tissue body fat is this is going to consist of the 2 variables in your body. Your variables being your fat and your lean. Those are the 2 things that you can change. Whereas your bones, we consider your bones to be a constant. So when we look at the tissue, your legs are currently 15.2% body fat. Your trunk is at 16.9 for a total tissue body fat of 16.1%. Today on the table, you weighed in at 195 pounds, of which 30 pounds, and that's all the red we see here, 30 pounds is fat, 157.4 is lean mass, and your skeleton weighs in at 7.8 pounds. So to get the tissue body fat, we added the lean plus the fat, and that came to 187.5. When we divide that by your fat pounds, that's how we got the 16.1. One interesting thing that you can see here is although you have a very low body fat, BMI, which is an old antiquated tool, it's still used in some hospital medical settings, it has you overweight because BMI is simply height to weight. So the more muscle you gain, the further you're going to go over on this spectrum. So with an advanced tool like the DEXA, that is, it kind of makes the BMI irrelevant. So had we taken your total mass and divided your total mass by your total fat pounds, your body fat, your total body fat, is 15.4%. Now, we have the ability to segment the body into 5 different regions and see exactly where your fat's stored. So your leanest region is going to be your arms at 13.1%, followed by your gynoid, and your gynoid's hip area at 13.3%, legs at 14.6%, android's that lower belly area, your abdomen, at 15.5%, and your largest region of fat is going to be your trunk at 16.5%. So rather than, when you come back for a second scan, rather than saying you're down 2% body fat, I show you exactly where you lost that throughout in these 5 regions of your body and how it's changed. For you being a bodybuilder, one thing you're judged on is symmetry. So we're able to assess your lean mass symmetry using this machine as well. So your arms, anything in your arms and legs that are less than half a pound, it's no need for concern. And your arms and legs are both under that threshold. The trunk, that upper body section, we expect a variance here of about 1.5 pounds, and you're beneath that because any type of injury or any issue we're having, it's always going to come out in the trunk, and you're well below the 1/2 pound. So no issues when it comes to symmetry, which is a good thing for your bodybuilding journey. At DEXA, with a DEXA, we always say you get to see exactly what you're made of. And I'll give you an example of showing you exactly what you're made of. So we take your right arm, for instance. Your right arm is 14.1% body fat. It weighs a total of 14.6 pounds. You have 2 pounds of fat within that arm, 12.1 pounds of lean mass, and 0.6 in bone. And we go through every segment of the body, compare that to your left arm. And we have a slight imbalance there, not much, but we give you that level of detail for every single aspect of your body till we get down to your total mass, which is, I think that's really valuable as you go forward and you want to see where you've gained mass and where you've lost fat. And here we would always graphically show the change in total mass, fat mass, and lean mass, and we'd also quantify that so you could see that change as well. As I said previously, the bone density scan, the DEXA scan is used for bone density. So we also give a T-score and a Z-score for bone density as well. Your bone density is incredibly high. You have both positive T and Z score. Most bodybuilders, most people that lift a lot of weights, they're going to have higher bone density, and you are no exception. Lastly, and most importantly, this was the visceral fat that I was referring to earlier. Visceral fat is linked to heart disease, diabetes. Some say it's linked to cancer as well. But it is the deadly fat that we carry around our lower abdominals. When we see people with large bellies, most of the time a lot of that is visceral fat. Fortunately for Maurice, you are carrying 0 pounds of visceral fat. He eats a clean diet. When people come in and they tell me, I eat pretty clean, and I look at that visceral fat number, it is a direct indication of how someone eats. But we're able to really predict future health consequences based on that number. And that pretty much wraps up the report that we provide for the first time for your first scan. I provide some different reports in a second scan so we can see exactly where the change is happening within your body.
All right, so that was pretty good, pretty quick, not too bad. I'm pretty excited about my results.
Yeah.
I have no visceral fat.
No visceral fat.
I guess I'm doing something right in
You're
this
doing
gym.
something right. Visceral fat's a correlation with the diet, so
Absolutely.
yes.
Stay away from sugar, folks.
Sugar.
Stay away from that sugar.
Yes.
So, thanks again for letting me
thank
talk
you.
with you, going
Thank you
over
so
the
much
scan
for
and
coming
everything.
by. I appreciate it.
So if you can just tell folks, how they can get in contact with you if they want to scan, if they want more information about it. So just give out your information.
Yes, our website is Composition ID Houston. You can schedule appointments there. My personal information's there as well. Feel free to call me at 281-841-7249. Our Facebook page is Composition ID Houston, and Instagram is at Comp ID Houston. I look forward to seeing you all, and I would appreciate your patronage.
All right.
Thanks,
Thanks,
sir.
Melissa.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.